Hello, everybody. Ooh, it's been a long day. Taking a break from Thanksgiving prep. For those of you who are watching the replay, I always love to know who is watching the replay, so throw replay into the comments section. I'm going to wait a couple minutes for everybody to jump on board. This is my Thanksgiving special. So I started this a couple of years ago. Actually, I had put up, it was obviously my show's on a Wednesday night, so it always falls the night before Thanksgiving. And a couple of years back, I had mentioned, I said, okay, guys, tell me what you're thankful for. And I was just so overwhelmed by all the responses, the beautiful responses I've got. So I did that last year again, and this is my third year doing this. And you guys didn't disappoint. I have so many beautiful things that those of you from the amputee community said that you're thankful for. And I am going to read them out tonight because I think it's important just to have those reminders, right? So we've got Mark Silverman on board. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Mark. Hey, Brett. He's got coffee in his Cozy Talks mug, so cheers. Cheers, guys. I can finally justify having hot chocolate here in Florida. It is finally cooling down. I am so excited about tomorrow. I get to have about 15 of my family members are coming into town, and I am hosting Thanksgiving dinner for all 15. So it's been a flurry of activity at my house. Cheers to you too, Brett. All right, guys, I see some of you popping on board this evening. Hopefully you can take a few minutes out of your Thanksgiving prep time to come say hello and come join me on the show this evening. Let me know who you are, where you're from, and what's in your coffee mug. We've got Bonnie on board. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. All right. So guys, I am so happy. I launched the Strong Body video series a couple of weeks back, and you guys have been so amazing. So many subscriptions rolling in, so many book orders going out. So I'm so excited to see so many of you using the program already, sending me your questions. I will be starting a new daytime talk show next Wednesday. So not today, but next Wednesday, I will be starting a new daytime talk show at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And I'm going to be featuring exercises from my Strong Body program. So I'm really, really, really hoping that you guys can join me for that. And then this evening, I'm going to be announcing my winner of my Strong Body subscription. We had a contest going on this week where you had to follow me on Instagram and tag a friend on the Instagram account. So I'll be announcing the winner for that towards the end of tonight's episode. There go my comments. I was wondering where you guys were. There's Stephen McCarthy. It has been a while, but I am so glad that you're here. And he says, thankful to have a lovely week off the west coast of Africa. Wow, that's super cool. Tom, happy Thanksgiving to you. Roger, happy Thanksgiving. Johnny B in the house. Awesome, guys. Jim saying he is thankful for his faith, family, and friends, also for my refocused life and all the blessings I enjoy. Hey, Susan Glyes, thank you so much for joining me. I know many of you are probably doing Thanksgiving prep, but I'm so glad you could take a moment to take a break with me. So let me just go ahead and get started. For those of you joining me for the first time, my name is Kosi Bayoso. I'm a physical therapist, amputee specialist here in Tampa, Florida. Hey, Shirley. I've been a PT now for over 18 years, and working with the limb loss community is my passion. So guys, I put the cattle call out there for what you guys were thankful for and you didn't disappoint. So I'm just going to start reading some of these off. Tom says, I'm thankful for my amazing wife and son who have stood by me and helped me more than I can say, and all the amazing people that have come into my life since I became an amputee. Rhonda is thankful for the ability to walk. One of my David says he's thankful for his wife, kids, and sharing his life together with his wife. He says, I'm also grateful for the support I found here and hope to spread that love to my AMP fam. Robert says, I am thankful my doctors had skills and saved my foot. Life is wonderful. Sandra says, thankful for Cozy Talks. You and your Facebook family has kept me going. Thank you, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to you too, David. And we got Shirley. Yes, Shirley, your book. I sent it out. I have tracking on all the book orders I've sent out. Some of you have received them. Some of you are still waiting, even though they all went out at the same time. We're just going to have to be patient with our U.S. Postal Service. They have been wonderful working through these shorthanded times, but the books will get to you guys, I promise. So if you ordered the book, now that I'm looking at my stash of books here now, if you do order a book for a below the knee, I can send it out the next day. For the Above the Knee books, that's hopefully going to be here by the end of this year, God willing. All right, guys. So, it's Thankful Thanksgiving, but I got to do at least some of the physical therapy cozy talks talking here. So one of the questions I had was from Arnetta, and she asked, I have a hard time getting into my mind to get my right above the knee leg to work. I have a bone spur and my left knee is bone on bone. By now I should be able to walk, but it hurts and my confidence is really low. Okay, so this happens a lot, guys, with my patients, especially as my patients start aging into their 50s and 60s, where, they are battling with a new amputation, and especially with my above the knee folks, right? So they're trying to figure out how to, activate and work that prosthetic knee. And then because of age, the other knee is starting to go because of arthritic changes, and it can become very, very, very painful. And there's a lot of frustration that can set in. Why am I not getting better faster? Why I should be walking by now? Okay. So first of all, comparison is the thief of the soul. It's just the thief of your peace. I can't remember, and I'm totally butchering that saying, right? But somebody had told me that a while back, and it just kind of stuck with me. If you're comparing your progress to the person sitting next to you, you're going to become discouraged. Okay. And you can't do that, right? We're as unique, and the progress that we make is also going to be unique to us. When it comes to arthritis, guys, protecting these joints, both on the residual limb side and on the sound side, so important. And again, this is where physical therapists can really shine. There's a lot of things that we can do to help with pain relief. There's a lot of things that we can do with muscle strengthening, those big groups, so that the muscles can then protect that joint, right? And especially if you're experiencing pain on the sound side, right? All the more reason to get that physical therapy to learn to use that prosthetic side, so that your prosthetic side can take some of that stress off of your sound side. Okay. Oh, Andrea says, got my book last week. Is beautiful. I only live 2 hours up the road. Oh, Andrea, I'm so glad you got the book. Yes. Okay. Benny's on board on listening to me from my YouTube channel. He says, thankful for family, friends, and then I'm able to run turkey trot tomorrow. Yes, Benjamin. Oh, that's awesome, Benny. Good luck to you on that turkey trot. So let me read a few more things that you guys sent to me. Ashley says, I'm thankful I have a career I love, and my principal truly cares about the well-being for faculty and staff. Trey says, I'm thankful I met you a couple of years ago, gave me the confidence and skills to run again. Also thankful that 2 weeks from now, I'll be on my honeymoon with the love of my life, which I met post-amputation, for those who don't think it's possible. And I remember meeting Trey at the Discover Your Possible event sponsored by Mission Gate a couple of years back. And we had a running clinic, and Trey I remember clearly, because we were starting the running clinic and we were looking around for volunteers. And just so you guys know, if you ever come to listen to me live at a talk and I ask for volunteers, those of you who are hiding, that's who's going to get picked. So Trey was one of those guys who was kind of just trying not to make eye contact with me. So I dragged him out, and he did a marvelous job. He picked up the running right away. He did a wonderful job there. Kevin says he's thankful for VitalFit and of course Cozy Talks. Troy says, thankful that I can walk and stay active. Sharam says, I'm thankful for how this experience has reinforced how resilient humans can be when faced with adapting to new challenges such as limb loss. There we go. Bonnie asks, oh, that's a great question, Bonnie. Are there different types of sockets for stubbies? So yes and no. Here we go. Sorry. Whenever I come into my studio, I know my kids have been here because all my body parts are gone everywhere. So for those of you who don't know, stubbies are a kind of like a training foot and system for people who are bilateral above the knee. We don't use this for bilateral below the knee. Okay, so what we do is when the person is a bilateral above the knee and they're getting ready to be fit for their prosthesis, they will be fit with a socket, right? And then a stubby foot will go underneath. There won't be a pylon, just the stubby foot goes attached right underneath. And the stubby foot, some people call it a stubby foot, some people call it a goat foot. It's like a little square foot, okay? And it's basically meant just to be like a little platform. My personal favorite is the Sidekicks by College Park because it's multi-axial. So it actually has movement. It's not just stuck straight onto the socket, okay? So Bonnie, the there are so many different types of sockets, and it doesn't matter what you use with the stubby. It's basically the socket that your prosthetist thinks that you're eventually going to use with your full length legs, right? So the socket they choose for you typically is the one that you're also going to use with your full length leg. That stubby foot can get attached to pretty much any socket, pretty much. I mean, that's just an umbrella, okay? So when people are using the stubbies, it gives folks who are bilateral above the knee amputees, it gives them a great chance to start getting their sea legs back, right? It allows them to start standing upright at a much lower level, right? Which is easier for your balance. It's easier for your center of gravity, right? If you automatically put someone 2 feet higher than what they've been used to, the balance is going to be awful. So a lot of times people will train on the stubbies. Jeffrey is one of my favorite people on Facebook, and he just rocks the stubbies, right? He just goes everywhere. And it's a great way to start building that core strength, building that sense of proprioception, balance, endurance. And that's a big one for my bilateral above the knees, building that endurance, because it takes a lot of energy to be able to walk with 2 full length legs, right? So once the person is starting to get, more comfortable using and maneuvering in the stubbies and being able to walk a certain distance, then they'll be progressed to wearing the full length legs, okay? Now, there are many of my bilateral above the knee amputees that they keep their stubbies set up, right? So, they'll use it for being in their home because it's just a little bit easier to maneuver around in the stubbies than it is to do the full length legs for certain activities. And again, referencing Jeffrey again, he posted a video of himself pushing the lawnmower on his lawn, and he was using his stubbies. Why? He was getting a great core workout, and not to mention when walking on uneven terrain like that, using his stubbies was a lot more safe and a lot more solid for him. Okay, make sense? All right, let's see. Bonnie says, I have the sidekicks. Yeah, they're great. They're great. Whew, lots more comments rolled in. Denise says that she's thankful every day for the ability to walk. Rita says, thankful for my friends and family. Lynette, hey girl, happy Thanksgiving. Let's see. Scott says, thankful for my friends and family who've helped me through this difficult year, losing my mom, who was my rock, get to cook for the first time for my niece and great nephews. Thank you for your weekly videos. Thank you, Scott. Still trying to get caught up on them and have been working on balance issues. Well, Scott, if you haven't already done so, I'm going to put my little shameless plug here for my Strong Body program. I have a lot of balance work there. And let me just put that up there, guys. I got to throw that in there somewhere. There's going to be one lucky winner tonight who's going to walk away with a free annual subscription to my Cozy Talk Strong Body program. So if you are looking for a good challenge for your balance, lots of exercises there, guys, for both above the knee and below the knee. Let's see. Steven says, well, it's nice to be away some fairly steep hills in the Canaries and my residuum a few times. Cardiac Hill is almost 60 degrees. So any tips to make things easier? Steven, I don't know if you're doing voice to text, but it didn't come out quite right. Would you mind rewriting your question? Bonnie has those sidekicks feet. Is it Skippy tonight, Andrea? I'm not getting any internet problems, and that's unusual because sometimes I do. So it might be you. Anybody else having any problems seeing me with the connection? Steven says he's grateful. 3 years as an AK, a legend for non-fitting socket. Had a new combo today and it felt the best for some time now. Denise got her book. Yes. Oh, wonderful, Denise. Oh gosh, guys. I love every single time I send out one of my books, I just, what's that saying? Like anytime you buy from a small business owner, they do a little happy dance. And guys, yeah, totally me. Oh, Stephen, wonderful. Chuck, so glad that you're here, man. So glad you're here. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Connie is thankful for having wonderful friends who are amputees. Hey, Harsh, there you are. I was wondering if you were going to come to see me today. So, Stephen, the Above the Knee book, hopefully, fingers crossed, by the end of this year, I will have it out. There is some supply chain issues with printing and all that kind of fun stuff, but hopefully it'll be out by the end of this year. Okay, so guys, let me read a couple more of these. Marianne is thankful for her sister and daughters. My other David, who watches the show, says, thankful for having a life when it could have been easily lost, overcoming many obstacles through God's grace. For my 49 years of a wonderful marriage to a wonderful woman, for family, grandkids, service to my community, this nation, faithful, loving friends, and God who loves me ordering my steps every day. You guys, I have kept all of these. It's like I said, this is my 3rd year doing the Thankful Wednesdays, and I have kept all of the things that you guys have written in the comments section for the past 3 years. I keep these. All right, so here's another question, and this is one that I'm like, ooh, I like this one because I see this a lot, and I like to kind of reiterate this one. This particular person sent me a picture of his residual limb, and he had a really nasty little patchy area towards the outer part of it, and he was just saying, what's going on? What is this? And I go, it looks like a callus, right? So just a little bit on the anatomy of the callus, guys. A callus forms when there is friction on an area, right? A lot of athletes will get calluses on the bottoms of their feet, especially like tennis players, to protect their feet from all the rubbing and moving around on a court and things like that. And the callus will sometimes protect the foot. In the case of an amputee, a callus is actually not a good thing, right? And this is a very common misconception that I'm constantly having to reinforce with my patients, because even as far as like the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s, calluses and blisters were just part of a normal part of an amputee's life, and they just had to deal with it. Not the case anymore, guys, especially with all the advances that we have in the different types of liners and the different shapes of sockets, and even in the socks and how we manage volume on the residual limb, right? So we know that if there is a callus there, it's because there is friction and pressure being caused in that spot. So the body's response is to lay down more layers of dry, dead skin, right? Why is that a problem? Because this callus, it's exactly that. It's dry, dead, cracked skin. So bacteria and other sorts of little bugs can get in there and cause a problem, right? And ultimately, you got a callus, you got a problem with the socket or something about your fit, okay? So first things first, when you find that you have a callus forming, get thee to thy prosthetist, right? Have him or her figure out why you're developing a callus, because a callus doesn't develop overnight. It's not like a blister, right? A blister can form in less than 20 minutes, right? And it could be that you got careless and maybe didn't put on enough socks or put on too many socks. A callus takes time to form, which means you've been having whatever problem with your socket for quite some time. And again, it could be something as simple as you've not been applying enough socks over a long period of time and you're underestimating how many socks you need to wear, okay? Or it could be something a little bit more serious with the actual fit. So you've discovered a callus, you know it's a callus, you know it's not like an infection or anything else going on, just a simple run-of-the-mill callus. How do you deal with it? It's actually very, very simple on how to deal with a callus, okay? Usually I'll tell my patients to have a bath, a warm bath where they can kind of soak that callus in the water for about 20 minutes, right? It's basically dead skin, right? So you want to soften it up and then take something like a terry cloth. Some people, like when they have calluses on their feet, they'll use the pumice stone, but I think the pumice stone is way too aggressive for the skin on your residual limb and you will actually hurt yourself. Just a terry cloth, guys. Terry cloth, and then just gently rub that dead skin while it's still nice and warm and moist, right? So just do a little rubbing. Again, guys, the same way that it took time to build that callus, it's going to take time to resolve that callus. So don't think that this is going to happen in the first day or two. It's actually going to take maybe a couple of weeks sometimes to get that callus filed down. And you don't want to be too aggressive, right? If you're too aggressive, then you're going to cause a skin abrasion. Because remember, this callus is on your residual limb, and that skin is much more sensitive than, say, compared to the skin on the bottom of your foot. Make sense so far? And guys, next thing. So once you've kind of filed down that callus just a little bit with that terry cloth and you're rubbing it down, after you get out of that warm bath, okay, you pat it dry and you moisturize it immediately. Okay. Again, the goal is to get this skin to get nice and soft so it'll kind of flake and peel off. Okay. So my favorite products, you guys have heard me talk about it a lot because they work beautifully. the Vital Fit skincare line. So they have 2 moisturizers. They have one for daytime and one for nighttime. And these products are meant to work with your prosthesis, right? They're not greasy. They're not going to make your prosthesis slip off. They work beautifully, okay? So if you're a nighttime, take a bath in the nighttime kind of person, the nighttime moisturizer, put it right on. Again, and making sure that you don't have any open areas in that skin, right? You put it on to keep that callus nice and moist and soften it up, okay? So a couple of things can happen, guys. Sometimes with calluses, and I play violin, so I get calluses on my fingers. It's kind of gross. They'll just kind of peel off. I know, it's kind of gross. When you see your callus starting to peel off, don't pull it. I know that sounds kind of gross, but people have a tendency to pick and pull and this and that and the other. And what you're doing is you have the tendency to cause a wound in your skin. You want to kind of let that slough its way off on its own, okay? Once that callus has finally worked its way out, again, make sure with your prosthetist that you know why that callus happened and that you have a solution for it so that you don't continue to have friction, right? And then when you have that new skin underneath that callus, using something like a liquid to powder lotion to kind of help protect that area and to prevent friction right on that area. Yeah. So it's kind of a lengthy it's a simple process. It really doesn't take rocket science to get a callus, to get it to smooth down, but you do have to take time and be patient with it and not be too aggressive. Make sense? And in some places, and again, check this with your dermatologist, check this with your clinician. Some people in that warm water bath can do 4 parts water, 1 part apple cider vinegar. And that just helps, that acetic acid in the vinegar just kind of helps break down some of that dry, dead skin. All right, guys, let me see. Lots of comments coming in. I love this. Ooh, let me get my hot chocolate. Okay. Shirley says she is thankful for finally having a great leg guy that got one to work and wished me happy Thanksgiving. Oh. Okay, so Stephen was asking, steep hills up and down, any tips to make walking up and down easier as a left BK? So Stephen, you're already at your destination. I would have told you if you knew ahead of time that where you were traveling to had a lot of ramps and hills, then I would have definitely had you practicing this at home in a safe environment where you can just practice going up and down ramps. So Stephen, if you're already there, going up and down sideways, okay? And guys, I've done this. There were a couple of places I visited when I was in Italy, and we had some incredibly steep hills we had to go. And I still had my youngest baby was, I had him hog-tied on a sling with me. So I was carrying an extra 20, 22 pounds going down steep hills. And I would do that, just go down sideways. Leading, it depends. Some people would find it easier to lead with their prosthetic leg. Some people think it's easier to lead with their sound leg. But going down sideways is an option. Obviously, Stephen, if you have something you can hold on to, like a rail or anything like that, hold on to it. No shame in that. Michelle Renee says, I'm thankful for my family. I'm so thankful my son is in remission and has his life. I'm so grateful his leg is fitting better and that he is walking every day. Michelle, thank you so much for sharing that. Hey, Casey, I'm so glad you're here. It has been a while. Kay, I just sent you an email back. So check your email. I just emailed you. Hey, Dan, happy Thanksgiving. Rita, I wish a lot of you were living closer to me as well. Yes, Casey says 100% correct. That definitely don't want to actually file it down like a callus on your sound limb heel. Yes, and again, the callus that you have on your foot is going to be a lot. You can be a bit more aggressive with that, but even with my diabetics, I'm usually like, woo, don't be too aggressive. You just have to be patient. It will eventually file its way off. And again, just a simple terry cloth. If the skin is nice and moist from a warm water bath for a good 20-minute soak, start scrubbing and then moisturize. Oh, that's all right, Andrea. Hey, Pam. Okay, so Pam says, I have a D-cube scar on my heel. Would I use the same technique as you described for the callus? No, and that's a very good question, Pam. If you have a scar, right, and again, Pam, it depends on the age of the scar, right? So when we talk about a scar, we describe it in 3 different ways. We describe the color, we describe the pliability, how much it moves, and we describe the lumpiness or the lack thereof, okay? So a scar that's mature is going to be pale. We call it the 3 Ps. Pale in color. It's going to be planar, meaning it's going to be flat. When you run your finger across it, it's flat, okay? And it's going to be pliable, meaning when you get in there with your thumbs, you can move that scar around nice and easy, okay? A scar that has not matured, it's the 3 Rs. It's going to be red or still pink, right? It's going to be rigid, meaning when you try to move it, it feels like it's stuck. And it's going to be raised, meaning when you run your finger on it, it's not flush with the rest of your skin. It's got some lumpiness. It could be hypertrophic or it could be keloid, okay? So if your scar is still immature, then you have a chance at working with it a little bit, Pam, and it's not the same way that you would treat a callus, okay? You can get in there with your thumbs and start working a little bit with friction massage. That's something a physical therapist can teach you how to do. There are newer techniques now, like scraping or dry needling, to help kind of pull that scar up. But again, that's something that you have to go see a physical therapist who's licensed in these techniques to be able to treat it that way, okay? But one thing that is the same with how you treat a callus is with a scar, you do want to keep it moisturized. You don't want it to get dried out, because that scar tissue skin is always going to be a little more thin and a little more fragile than your normal skin, okay? And I do have several folks out there who have grafts on their skin, on their residual limb, okay? So that scar tissue has to be taken care of very carefully to make sure it doesn't break or tear. Make sense? Yes, and we are at the most gorgeous weather right now in Florida. Happy Thanksgiving, Jack. Thank you for joining. All right, let's see what else we got. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and announce the winner of my Strong Body annual subscription. So for you guys who haven't seen that yet, I am been working so hard on this. I'm posting it again because I just got to do it. So guys, for the past couple of years, I have been working on a huge project, which has culminated in this website. So this website has over 150 exercise videos for above the knee and below the knee, for arm strength, leg strength, core strength, balance, and flexibility. Okay. So basically everything that you could possibly want and more in exercises for people who are just beginners up through athlete level exercises. So there's an annual subscription plan there that you guys can subscribe to. And there's also a book. And of course, I can't find the book when I found it. Ta-da! There's my exercise book, guys. The one for below the knee is out and ready for shipping. All the exercises are in here. It's all the same exercises that you find on the website itself. So it works together with the exercise videos. So we have a winner today, and his name is Tom Mcintyre. So Tom, congratulations. You just won yourself an annual subscription to the Strong Body program. So Tom, I hope you're still, I know you were on a little bit earlier. Hopefully you're still there. And if not, I will be getting in touch with you to get you set up with your Strong Body annual subscription. So thank you for all of you who participated in that contest. Very much appreciated. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, Stephen, thank you so much. Marianne, 26 degrees in South Dakota. Holy smokes, you really need hot chocolate. Stephen asks, if I use guys, I'm sorry, I've been busy all day, so my brain is if I use certain dry on my residual limb at night because of sweat issues, can you still moisturize over the top of the Vital Fit product? Their liquid to powder is the best. Here are my thoughts on antiperspirants, right? Because before I got to know Vital Fit, I've been working with them for a couple of years now. I really didn't have many options to recommend my patients with regards to sweat management and skin health, right? So I would end up going to the Walgreens or the CVS or whatever and just trying to figure out, okay, which moisturizers, which powders, that liquid to powders that they had there, and antiperspirants, right? So I would tell my patients, okay, use the antiperspirant. You have to use it the night before, right, to allow it to soak into your limb. and then you can put your limb on in the morning. Okay. So for some people it worked, but as you can imagine, there's some people, for example, who like to take their showers in the morning. So they would put on the antiperspirant after their morning shower and it wouldn't be enough time to soak in. There are some people that they don't like that amount because the antiperspirant, what makes it antiperspirant, it has the aluminum in it. And a lot of people don't like to use aluminum and have that into their system, right? And for some people, they just felt like it didn't work. Okay, so here are my thoughts on antiperspirant. Try the liquid to powder stuff first. I have found more people like using this stuff. And Stephen, I would use this stuff by itself. I would not layer it on top of the antiperspirant. Here's my caveat to that, okay? If you are somebody who has been using antiperspirant for years and it works for you, keep using it, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, okay? Or if you are someone like some of my runners, for example, many of my runners, they will take the travel size version with them, the little liquid to powder travel size in their little fanny packs where they have their chew gels and whatever. And they might have to continue to reapply the liquid to powder as they sweat, because when you're running, you're sweating a lot, especially here in Florida, right? Or sometimes they'll use the liquid to powder first, right? And then put a little bit of antiperspirant in the hot spots where they have more sweat, usually around the upper edge of their liner, okay? So Stephen, usually when people use the Vital Fit stuff, I tell them, just use the Vital Fit stuff. Don't combine it with the antiperspirant. It's not meant to be used that way. It's meant to be used as a system, and your body and your skin has to kind of get used to it. So use it as a system for a couple of weeks so that your skin can get that balance. And I think you'll find that that's going to work. For higher sweat situations, then you might need to use a little bit more, maybe antiperspirant there to help with those spots. Those are my thoughts. Thank you, Pam. All right. There goes to, yay for Tom. I know. I hope Tom was still on board so he could hear this. Let's see. Karen says, I'm thankful for many friends and more in the limb loss community. Thankful for you, Kelsey. Thank you. Oh, yay. Tom was on board. You heard it. Okay, Tom, wonderful. Yes. So everybody, lots of people here are fans of the liquid to powder lotion. And again, guys, I'm never one to say that one thing will work for everybody. That being said, this skincare line works for a lot of people that I've recommended it to, including my own patients in my clinic and as well as many of you viewers. My hair is a hot mess tonight. All right, guys. With that, I am going to go ahead and wrap it up for this evening. Those of you who joined me and took a break from your Thanksgiving prep, I do appreciate that so much. And I have to say, I forgot to say what I'm thankful for. So what I'm thankful for is kind of it's obviously the usual, my health, my friends, my family, this show, and my ability to work with this community. But it was interesting the other day. So I'm hosting my family. There's about 15, 16, 17 people coming tomorrow. So in the flurry of activity, I'm trying to make my house look pretty and clean, and I have to make sure that my clinic and my patients there are taken care of so I can take a couple of days off to spend with my family and my kids. I'm, cooking for 15, which I love to cook. So for me, that's a joy to cook. And then on all of that, making sure I keep up with my laundry. And for those of you who don't know, I have 4 kids. So with family of 6, my husband, myself, and 4 kids, there's a lot of laundry. So 2 days ago, I'm sitting there doing laundry and just grumbling and going, God, I have so much to do. I wish I were a millionaire so I could just have somebody who did my laundry for me. And then I just stopped. And I just thought back to this time 5 years ago when I was undergoing treatment for cancer and I could not do my own laundry. And it just hit me like a moment right there. I think my guardian angel was just smacking me upside the head at that moment. And I just said, thank you, Lord, for the ability to do my own laundry. Thank you for my hands that work, my legs that are able to carry and walk through the house as I deliver the clean laundry and put it away. Thank you for not having the ability to have someone do my laundry, because I think it keeps you humble. It keeps you humble to do these everyday chores and to not take it for granted. And then I think to some of my patients who are still struggling right now with some of the simpler tasks, such as doing their own laundry. So as strange as it sounds, I am thankful for the ability to do my own laundry. So All right, guys, with that, I am going to sign off. Don't forget, next Wednesday, guys, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to start my brand new daytime talk show. Not getting rid of the nighttime, I'm doing that one as well. But the daytime talk show is going to be all about strong body, okay? I'm going to be featuring the exercises and really showing you guys how to take these exercises apart, put them back together again, and how to put them into your fitness program. Jill, happy Thanksgiving. God bless you too. Thank you, darling. All right, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving. Check out the Strong Body Cozy Talks website. So proud of it. Some featured exercises on the front page. You guys can take a look and see if you like it. Okay, guys, I'm going to go. God bless, guys.